What's up guys, it's Everett here, and in this video we're going to go over a great stretch if you've got that rounded forward position from sitting at a desk, watching Netflix, texting too much. So you've got that rounded upper back, your head is dipped forward, you might have some stuff going on in front of your shoulders because your shoulders are rounded in. For some of you, it might feel like it's really hard to breathe deeply and like expand your ribs and get a good breath in. So this stretch is going to help all of that. And as always, we want to make sure we set up in the right position. It's easy to get into a stretching position and just try to push really deep into the stretch. And what you end up doing is using parts of your body that are already flexible to get you deep into the stretch, but it's not helping the parts of the body that are tight that we actually need to work on. So there's technique to stretching, and we'll go over some of those cues that we want to watch out for to make sure we're not compensating or cheating to get too deep into the stretch. So what you'll need is a broomstick, a PVC pipe, something like this, and then potentially, if you've got them handy, one of these exercise bands. So you can, maybe use something else you can find in your home. These are great, but you can do the stretch without this. It'll just help you out a little bit. And final thing is a bench or something to lean onto. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the PVC pipe or broomstick, palms up, so supine, and the hands and the wrists are gonna be right in line with the elbows and in line with the shoulders. So we don't wanna go too wide here, and too narrow it's not as difficult. You're not gonna feel as much of a stretch. So usually right in line with the shoulders or maybe slightly outside that. Now from here, the stretch itself looks pretty simple. Elbows on the bench, and we're gonna sit the hips back and down, and we're not just leaning back. We're almost like trying to put our head, our neck, and our upper back through the arms and the shoulders. So we're going back with the hips and down with the torso, just like that. All right, so we would hold that stretch for 2 minutes, and we're gonna be doing deep diaphragmatic belly breaths, expanding the stomach and trying to open up the ribs, okay? So that's gonna increase that stretch quite a bit. Now, when it comes to stretching, I say this in a lot of my videos, if you get into that stretch and you go as far as you possibly can, 30 seconds in, you're gonna have a tough time holding that stretch any longer, and you're gonna have to back out of it. So find that stretch sensation, and then after 30 seconds, start easing deeper and deeper over that 2-minute period. And something else I usually say is, if you get in that stretch in about 30 to 45 seconds, you've kind of shifted around and then you find a better stretch, it's okay to extend that stretch then another 2 minutes, okay? Sometimes you almost have to like warm up into that stretching position. So that's the stretch. Now, what are we looking out for? We're looking out for 3 things. So the first is the elbows. When we try to increase the stretch, the elbows will separate away, okay? So looking at it from the front, the elbows will glide away. Now, it's not bad to have wider set elbows if you have broad shoulders, but when the elbows drift away, we're losing external rotation, which is something that the stretch really gets going in the shoulders, and a lot of people have rotator cuff issues. So we don't want to let the elbows slide away, which is why we've got our band. So I'm gonna, as not awkwardly as possible, put this on right above the elbows, and you can see it's just kind of pulling me in, just like that. So that way when we go in the stretch, it just makes it a little easier that we're not concentrating on keeping the elbows in. This band is doing it for us, okay? So this band is great. Grab one, they're pretty cheap on Amazon if you don't have one. So that's the first thing. Elbows, don't let them slide away. Don't lose external rotation of the shoulders. The next thing is, as we start to sit the hips back and down, we end up just rounding the back. Okay, so again, instead of increasing the stretch at the lats right here, I'm increasing the range of motion by going into flexion of the spine. So pretty simple, just keep the spine neutral, and up the top, the base of the neck, almost try to push the chest forward. So some people try to do that and they'll just arch their low back because they don't know how to actually segment and use their spine. So get some air in your stomach, breathe into your stomach, and again, try to push the chest forward and then increase that stretch. Okay, so that's number 2. We've got elbows sliding away, we've got the back rounding, and this last one is a little more subtle. So we want to make sure that the shoulders, they're down, just to put it simply, okay? A lot of people, as they increase that stretch, they kind of leave the shoulders behind, and the shoulders start to drift up to the ears. So now I haven't increased that stretch, I've just elevated the shoulders. Okay, so it's similar to sitting the hips back and then rounding the back. I'm not actually doing any stretching here. So you've got an angle right by your armpit. So imagine you've got something right here and you're pulling your shoulders down to where you're touching your armpit to something. All right, and we're gonna keep that, and again, sit back, and that's gonna increase that stretch and then push that head through just like so. All right, so we're looking out for those elbows, we're looking out for the spine, the upper back, and then we're looking out that the shoulders aren't shrugging up and forward. We're keeping them down, and this stretch is gonna get the lats, which are huge, some of your serratus anterior, so the bumpy muscles right here. Again, external rotators of the shoulder, the long head of the tricep, which is one of your tricep muscles. It actually attaches to your scapula. It's gonna get all that stuff. And again, it's gonna help with that rounded upper back, the rolled in shoulders, tightness in the chest, trouble breathing, and other things that come from that. Who knows, maybe some headaches, some neck aches, things like that. So, as always, this comes down to time under tension. You don't bench press one day and you get great at benching. You don't do one stretch, one time, and then you feel better. So be consistent with this, 2+ minutes in this position, go through the cues, make sure you're not cheating to get too deep into the stretch based on your current circumstances, and try to do this for 7 days straight. So as always, thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video and this stretch. It helps other people who may have some upper back and shoulder issues find this video, which helps them. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you like this style of training, the very precise cues, I've actually got a full hip mobility course on my website, link in the description. It's 2.5 hours of content laid out like an education course. It's only 29 bucks and your hips are kind of important. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.